Africa is a continent with a long and rich past. It has been home to many important people and thriving civilizations. Mansa Musa I, who ruled the Mali Empire, was the richest African in history. His hidden story shows how rich he was, what amazing things he did, and how much he changed African history. By learning more about Mansa Musa's rise to power, the size of his wealth, and the cultural impact he left behind, we can get a full picture of how important he was. Rise of Mansa Musa. A narrative of ambition, smart alliances, and astute governance. The ascent of Mansa Musa, who became the richest African in history, is told here. Mansa Musa was born into a noble family in 1280 CE, and his rise to power began following the death of his predecessor, Abu Bakr II, in 1312 CE. Mansa Musa was born in 1280 CE. Mansa Musa succeeded to the throne of a flourishing Mali Empire, which at the time was already a considerable force in West Africa. The Mali Empire was well known for its thriving trade routes and plentiful resources. After ascending to the throne, Mansa Musa made it a priority to broaden the Mali Empire's sphere of influence and increase its level of riches. It was through the implementation of several strategic measures and the cultivation of diplomatic connections that he was able to firmly establish his power and bolster the empire's position in the region. One of the most important aspects that led to Mansa Musa's rise to power was his astute handling of the empire's resources, in particular, its enormous gold holdings. Mansa Musa was able to establish a virtual monopoly on the gold trade because the Mali Empire held key gold-producing regions such as Bambouk and Wangara. This enabled him to control the gold market. Because he had sole control over the extremely valuable resource, he was able to amass an enormous fortune and have a tremendous amount of influence over the economics of the surrounding areas. The initiatives of Mansa Musa towards the economy were not restricted to gold alone. He understood the significance of expanding the empire's commercial activities beyond the trading of gold and diversifying the economy of the empire. Millet and sorghum were two of the crops that benefited from Mansa Musa's support of agricultural expansion, notably in the Niger River Valley. He also encouraged the cultivation of sorghum. This agricultural expansion not only made sure that there would be enough food for the empire, but it also made it easier for there to be excess commodities that could be traded. In addition to pursuing economic measures, Mansa Musa actively pursued diplomatic partnerships with the kingdoms and empires that were located in close proximity to his dominion. He did this by forming strategic marriages and alliances, which helped enhance the position of the Mali Empire and offered a buffer against external threats. These relationships helped strengthen the standing of the Mali Empire. These alliances made it easier to form trade partnerships, which in turn facilitated the flow of products, ideas, and cultural influences among the various parties involved. The reputation of Mansa Musa as a wise and just ruler was another factor that led to his rise to power. He successfully put in place efficient administrative structures, appoint competent officials, and uphold the rule of law. The administration of Mansa Musa placed a premium on the health and happiness of the people under his control, which contributed to the continued growth and development of the empire. Because of his reputation for being fair and just, he was able to draw talented people to the area, which established a climate that was conducive to economic progress and cultural advancement. There were other factors at play in Mansa Musa's rise to power, besides only his own personal ambition and adept leadership. He was able to achieve greatness because the ancestors of the Mali Empire's previous kings and queens had established the groundwork for a powerful and rich realm. Mansa Musa was able to catapult the Mali Empire to unprecedented heights of riches and prominence by capitalizing on the empire's pre-existing resources, trading networks, and political systems. Mansa Musa's wealth. People are amazed and fascinated by how much money Mansa Musa has. This makes him the richest African in history. The vast resources of the Mali Empire were the main source of his wealth, and gold was a key part of his economic success. Under Mansa Musa's rule, the Mali Empire was in charge of rich gold-producing areas like Bambouk and Wangara. People knew that these areas had a lot of gold, and Mansa Musa pretty much controlled the trade in this valuable metal. He was in charge of the gold trade, which gave him a huge amount of money and a lot of economic power in the area. During Mansa Musa's rule, the Mali Empire had more gold than anyone else. His wealth is talked about in history books and records in unique ways. Some sources say that Mansa Musa's personal wealth was around $400 billion in today's money. This would make him one of the richest people in history. In 1324 CE, when Mansa Musa went on his famous trip to Mecca, he did so in a way that showed not only how religious he was, but also how rich he was. He went with a huge group of soldiers, officials, scholars, and thousands of servants and soldiers. The caravan was full of gold, expensive goods, and valuable items to show how rich and beautiful the Mali Empire was. During his journey, Mansa Musa gave away a lot of gold and other expensive gifts. He gave away huge amounts of gold to the poor, churches, and people he met along the way, leaving behind a trail of wealth. These acts of kindness made him even better known and helped make sure that the Mali Empire was a powerful and wealthy country. Mansa Musa wasn't rich just because he had a lot of gold. The Mali Empire also had power over important resources, like salt, which was in high demand all over West Africa. Salt, also called white gold, was an important product that was used to keep food fresh and for trade. Mansa Musa's power over the salt trade made the empire even wealthier and added to his huge amount of money. The journey to Mecca. In 1324 CE, Mansa Musa went on a journey to Mecca, which became one of the most famous parts of his life. This trip was not only a religious duty, but also a smart way to build diplomatic relationships, show off the wealth of the Mali Empire, and strengthen its place on the world stage. Mansa Musa set out on a journey that would capture the whole world's attention. He was accompanied by a large group of officials, scholars, servants, and an enormous caravan bringing gold and other valuable items. As he traveled through the huge Sahara Desert and into Egypt, people he met along the way were amazed by how rich and kind he was. During his journey, Mansa Musa gave away a lot of gold to help people and show that he was a good person. His kindness made a lasting mark on the places he went, and the sudden influx of gold had a big effect on the local economy, which was thrown off by it. People say that after his trip, the price of gold in North Africa went down for many years. History and effects. Mansa Musa's journey not only showed off how rich he was, but it also showed off how advanced and culturally rich the Mali Empire was. Scholars, traders, and important people took notice of him, which made Mali's image as a place of learning, trade, and wealth even stronger. During Mansa Musa's rule, Timbuktu grew into a well-known center for Islamic learning and a hub for trade across the Sahara. He ordered the building of important mosques, libraries, and schools, which brought experts from all over the Islamic world. The way Mansa Musa supported art, building, and education left an indelible mark on West African culture. Also, the idea that Mansa Musa was the richest African in history broke down false ideas about Africa and its historical successes. His story went against the common belief that Africa was poor, powerless, and had nothing to offer in terms of culture. It showed how rich and advanced African societies were, which went against the stereotypes and lies that have been used to describe the continent for hundreds of years. What do you think of the video? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.